Hey, it's Jeff again. I just ran 3 miles, so I'm a little parched, a little flushed, but super amped to do my video on INFJ personality types, which I am an INFJ. I'm an INFJ personality type. I didn't have any other INFJ types around while I was growing up, thus I didn't get mirrored at the younger age that most people do. When a person is mirrored, they more or less figure themselves out. This requires a similar or same personality type. Specifically for the INFJ, if the INFJ doesn't get mirrored, then there's a process which tries to figure this out for itself from within. The main two functions that are used are FE and NI. FE is about feel, and NI is intuition. So normally a healthy mirrored INFJ will be able to have insight and right away feel what it is. Unfortunately for people like me, there were no mirrored insight people of the same type. Only 1% of people are INFJs, so 1 in 100 people. I didn't have 100 friends when I was younger. Some INFJs are locked out completely from their NI function. More in depth, the INFJ can't set boundaries because of this lack of connection. Seemingly slow, maybe retarded. This isn't the case, maybe handicapped or misunderstood. The FE function is extroverted feel, which is very pleasant to those around. Basically, I am throwing good vibes out all the time. Generally, the NI puts this FE function in check. When this doesn't happen, it can become dangerous for the INFJ because giving away all one's energy leaves them feeling withdrawn, depressed, lower motivation, and inspiration levels. Generally, people take what goodness they can, and neither person realizing what is happening to the INFJ. This leads the INFJ into relationships that are one-sided. The INFJ meets the needs of others while not getting their needs met. We become people pleasers who pick up on the emotions of others, becoming vulnerable to caring for the needs of others rather than ourselves. This can have serious consequences because it leaves us vulnerable to attracting sociopath personality types. The INFJ's unregulated FE is giving out, and sociopaths see it as a source of energy to be fed and nurtured and given to. The INFJ will not get any back and can be treated very rough, which somehow is undetected by the INFJ. The INFJ can become their own experiment where they try to figure out what is happening themselves. Having this non-mirrored handicap leaves us vulnerable to the ups and downs of other people's behavior. This leaves the INFJ open to unhealthy relationships. Eventually, the INFJ kind of mirrors their self after many rough situations, learning people's motives by letting it just happen to them. This leads to the possibility of setting boundaries for the INFJ. This is more of a survival strategy rather than being mirrored in a healthy way at a young age. Not setting physical, emotional, and psychological boundaries can lead to severe problems like confusion, lack of direction or purpose, anxiety, stress, depression, grief, loneliness, which will lead to exhaustion. The FE gives out so much energy and doesn't keep enough to take care of itself. Energy meaning giving someone your time, talent, resources, or accidentally job position. Most go to the counselor and are given medications rather than figuring out the underlying cause. Scott Morgan helped save me via YouTube videos. I was feeling all those rough feelings of stress, anxiety, loneliness, even around people, and confusion. When I saw his video multiple videos and realized that I was caught in a NITI loop. Thanks again, Scott. I went from level 2 consciousness, the artist, to level 3, the alchemist, and completely dropped all of those crazy, confused feelings. Handicapped, no more. I felt at peace and extremely motivated. I told everyone I know that I am an INFJ and I figured myself out. Nobody fucking cared, excuse my language. It's okay, they can't really understand, so it's not worth even explaining to them. This builds assertiveness, finding yourself out. The INFJ feeling their own feelings can be elusive. For the INFJ, feeling their own feelings can be elusive. Being so in tune to others leaves our own feelings on the back burner. Now I can feel my own feelings very easily and understand why and what to do in a given situation. Most people use aggression to show assertiveness. This is very hard on the INFJ. INFJs are assertive in a calm manner, which can be mistaken for weakness. So INFJs might think that to be assertive, one must be aggressive. This leads the INFJ to not respond to aggression, seemingly weak. INFJs can see the feelings of others and maybe even why they're feeling it. We want others to do this to us, even if it's only on a subconscious level, a subconscious way. The reality is that very few people can do this. Even fewer would want to be able to do this. It's true. INFJs have to accept that others can't pick up what they are feeling or why they are feeling it. So it's up to the INFJ to either communicate to them how they feel if it's appropriate. Most people don't even have enough awareness to ask questions to the INFJ to find out how they're feeling. This is very disappointing for the INFJ. So INFJs have to realize this and make the effort to voice how they feel, realizing that others can't tell how they feel. It's a little tricky. When an INFJ sets boundaries around healthy people, they respect these boundaries. When the INFJ sets boundaries around unhealthy people, they push or pull on these boundaries. This is a very unpleasant feeling. It's not just a test. You're literally hitting people in their fucking heads. The handicapped INFJ is a lost soul, wandering aimlessly without life purpose. This leaves them open to be taken advantage of, wasting maybe years of one's life. INFJs can have their boundaries broken, or they can break their own boundaries by not saying no and not realizing how bad they feel about that till later. Anger is usually a giveaway that a boundary has been broken. But if anger is not dealt with properly in childhood and is shamed, then one might feel anger and think it is not right and not do anything about the break in the boundary. Maybe it's a little deeper than that. I don't know. So anger properly dealt with makes strong boundaries. It's okay to feel angry, work your way through it, build a boundary, get past it, maybe not get so angry the next time. If the INFJ stays in a place where boundaries are being broken and doesn't do or say anything about it, they then feel shame for not standing up for themselves. Most handicapped INFJs don't cross anyone's boundaries because they know how people feel and they know how that would feel. So when someone breaks a boundary and the INFJ would rather think it is an accident. And of course, the boundary breaker will try to play it off like it's an accident. So it's very confusing for the INFJ. So it's a crapshoot, really. Thank you, Scott Morgan, for counseling me via YouTube. I really appreciate you. Scott Morgan is an INFJ counselor. If this describes you, then you should watch some of his videos. The conscious and contemplative INFJ is a supercharged INFJ. Side notes: when two people are talking, they are sending vibes to each other on two different levels, upper and lower per se, or left and right, however you want to look at it. Most people talk from the top level and aren't aware of the bottom level. Bottom level meaning subconscious. Solid, understandable connections are formed easily when two people are both coming from the top level, or both bottom levels, either way. INFJs, however, by nature can see the bottom level of the other person in a given situation. Further, the INFJ talks to the other person via the bottom level, which makes a weak connection, leaving room for distrust and uncertainty of the interaction. So when an INFJ is talking to someone who feels bad, or just that they are below the balance of happy and sad per se, and maybe they don't realize it, the person feels low but is verbally coming off. The person feels low but is verbally coming off as feeling high. The INFJ will more than likely be talking back in low or negative manner as to make a more solid connection. The other person sees this negativity and realize they feel negative and make an incorrect association that the INFJ is negative, when in all actuality the INFJ is just mirroring back what they see in the other person. INFJs want to be on the same feeling level when making a connection. The INFJ can either try to lessen their own connection by moving to the top level. This feels meaningless because it is not real for the INFJ, seemingly fake, or just misguided. The INFJ desperately wants to help the other person feel better, which is what INFJs feel best doing. Most people find this offensive, seeing how this is confusing or seemingly fake or misguided to them. This is why I have felt blessed and cursed at the same time my whole life. A lot of times INFJs might not realize all this and are always talking from the bottom level and being disappointed when most people don't relate and actually get offended for seemingly no reason to this person, to the INFJ, who doesn't realize they're talking at a different level. Also very confusing for the INFJ while disruptive for the other person. A lot of people think INFJs are crazy because people can't understand. When enough people believe something, the consensus is the belief. This is true. INFJs make up 1% of the population. It's okay, INFJs. We will find you and or help you find yourself. Be a true mirror for you. Alright. Other people that I haven't mentioned in my earlier videos that have really helped me are Philip Gezelbash, and that's his YouTube channel, with autophagy, fasting, intermittent fasting, health, motivation, inspiration, and stoic body. Where's that? Tom Bilyeu, Bilyu. You help to motivate me, inspire, connect great people on your show. And you have a great life story. I like it. Max Eigen, seeing the untold truths of many, and that's it. He has a different name for his YouTube channel. I forgot to write it down. Max Eigen, seeing the untold truths of many things in society. He has a strong vibe because he wants you to form your own opinion based purely on info and having your own. I said that wrong. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Max Eigen, seeing the untold truths of many things in society. He comes off with a strange vibe because he wants you to form your own opinion based purely on info and having your own epiphanies. Fellow INFJ, his channel is ALTRURENI. Oh, not the I. Altruren. Gave me a sense of validation not before felt by me. It was very powerful. I appreciate you. And Joel Mark Witt with Antonia Dodge at Personality Hacker. That's their YouTube channel, Personality Hacker. You truly made me feel understood with your 50-minute video on INFJ personality. I awoke the next morning after finding you two and shed tears of a mixture of feelings like love, happiness, validation, acceptance, and just knowing now that someone completely understands me. I can't explain how good I felt this morning when I woke up. Just amazing. And I owe it to you too. Both of their moms are INFJs, so they come off so strong in anything they say. Much love to all of you. To all my good friends that I let go of on the way to find myself or to find a person like me to mirror me and help me to feel complete, I am sorry. I didn't know what was happening. To all my good friends that left me because I wasn't whole or unintentionally hurting them by being an INFJ, I'm sorry about that. To everyone in the world, to everyone in the whole wide world who's in their ego, it's a sad, lonely place to be. The ego was meant to be there in place for you to run from a lion, tiger, or bear. Oh my. It is a place of fear and fight or flight. So when you are alone, if you feel like running or fighting, you're in your ego. When a person not in the ego talks to a person who is in the ego person comes off as rude or apathetic, selfish, separate, better than. It's hard to smile at someone like this, even though they are smiling through their ego. I hope this has made sense to all of you beautiful beings. Much love, Jeff. Before I go, I just wanted to show a picture I just found of me, my two best friends, and my mom and her friend. Miss you guys. Bye.